Hi, welcome. How are you? That's good to hear. I'm gonna be your life coach. I know we discussed briefly on the phone what we sort of wanted to achieve today. This is your first session with us, hey? Well, thank you so much for coming in. It means a lot to us, but I think it's gonna mean heaps for you to invest in your life and invest in your intentions. I know we discussed briefly why you wanted to come here was to set goals for the new year, right? You just had trouble thinking of some things to come up with, how to self-analyze, so you needed some help from a life coach. Is that right? Okay, always good to confirm. No, yeah, we can definitely help with that. It's something that a lot of people do. It's, as you can imagine, it's quite seasonal, this kind of thing, but we do it all year round, how to set goals, how to reflect and come up with new goals and new systems. Our focus really is, yeah, there's an end goal, but how do we live each day to get that end goal? So I'm just gonna ask you some questions, and from there we can brainstorm together some goals that you can take home, pin up on your wall or something, and then work on from there. But if you have any problems, we're a life coach, so we help out in more ways we can. Like, are you hungry right now? Do you need a snack? I got some snacks here. Still got the price on them. No, you hungry? Yeah, you can have some. You can have a little packet. But yeah, I just want you to feel comfortable with me, because you might have to be a little vulnerable. Hope that's okay. I'll answer all the questions the same way you want if you want. Nah, you're good, you're easy. Okay, that's what we like to hear. So yeah, let's jump into it. I'm gonna start now. Are you comfortable? Yeah? Okay. Okay, so before we jump into the questions that will help us write up these goals for you, I just want to set the space, set our intentions, clear our mind as best we can. I know it's quite difficult, especially this time of the year, you're juggling so much, but I've got an instrument here with me that'll help us set some really intentional goals. It's just I like to call it the fallen star. It's a decorative piece, but listening to it, allowing the sound to wash over you, it's going to allow you to clear your mind just a little bit. And so when you answer these questions, it's going to be a purest form. I don't want you thinking too hard. I want these answers to be instinctive, natural, what comes to mind. And this instrument, this little session we have before the real session, is going to help with that. So let me know if you're uncomfortable. And I may touch your face, slightly graze your face. And the sound is what I want you to focus on, so feel free to close your eyes if you prefer as well. Okay, so I'm going to begin now. See? Okay, so I'm just going to go down the sides of your face first. Just listen to the crinkles. Your chin. And at the top of your head, you can hold a lot of our stress there. Ooh, what's your eyes? Ready to answer some questions now? These questions are going to help us write up your goals, okay? So while the star is just there in the bin, I'm going to be just asking you around 10 questions. Super simple, super easy. I wrote them out before based on how we talked before online. And so I think these questions are going to help you put in the mindset and the right mentality for thinking of some goals you want to make. And your answers are going to help me suggest some goals for you. Yeah, so it's going to be a team effort. It will lighten the load a little. Okay, question 1. How would you describe yourself exactly as a person right now? Okay. Sure. Yeah, you can go into as much detail as you want. There's nothing to hide here. In fact, the more you give is the more we can work with, and it's not a timed session or anything. So, you're all good. No worries. You've given me a lot, but now without mentioning what you do or where you come from and other sort of demographical information, how would you describe yourself? How would you describe how you approach the world and how you see the world, how you interpret things? Okay, for sure. Okay, now how would you describe an ideal version of you, both in what they do and how they live and why they make their choices and who they are and how they interact with their environment and what even their environment would be? That's important to the ideal version of you. Yeah, there's no wrong answer. It's just what you think. Yeah. I think we all want that. But no. Okay. Do you feel like there's a gap between you now and the ideal version of you? And why do you think? No, that's great. I might want to recircle and jump back in on that when I'm actually writing up the goals, but for now, I just want to jump on to the next question, which is, how would you define self-love? And how are you putting that into practice, if at all? Yeah, for sure. Is that how you love other people as well? Okay. Well, how do you actually feel about yourself? And do you allow your feelings to affect how you treat yourself or for how you spend your time? Or are you able to separate those feelings? Okay. So then, how does your internal relationship with yourself, like you just described, does that have any effect on your external relationships with other people, with your environments, and And is there like a vice versa effect? I know you briefly touched upon it, but is there like a vice versa effect where these external relationships have an effect on your relationship to yourself? Did that make sense? I'm glad you're a star pupil. Well, not pupil. But yes. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well then, what life lessons did you feel like you learned last year, and why do you think you had to learn them? What would you like to learn about yourself this year? Do you feel like you have to repeat any of the life lessons that you went through, or you got the message, you're ready to take on the next hurdle? For sure. Okay, well that ends the question portion, all the questions I have for you. They've been really illuminating, and I didn't want to overwhelm you with anything too extreme or, what's the word, too deep for today. It's our first session together, so it's given me a good framework to sort of work around the things you want to achieve both internally, externally for this year ahead. So based on all that, have you got any thoughts on where you're leaning more towards for your goals? I know I have, but yeah, do you want to share any brainstorms? It doesn't have to be a particular goal or anything, it can just be thoughts that you have, or a realization, or a value that you didn't know you had, but now you do. Yes, I noticed that came out quite a lot in our conversation. Well, there are some goals that I have in mind, and more importantly than that, there are some habits that I think you could implement right now, starting today, that could help you achieve those and help you reach your more ideal self. So I'm just gonna jot them down here. Do you want to take a look at my page? Do you just want to take a look at my page? Look at my page while I jot them down. Yeah, I'll walk you through them afterwards. Can you see my page? Yeah. Awesome. So I noticed that there was quite a lot of stuff coming out and when you answer question 4, you were thinking more about how that you wanted to be able to use it a little bit more, just totally fine, totally fine. And I think that's very reasonable. So we even do something like doing that while you're on your way to work. Did you like your job? Yeah. So we just wanted to do the question of the flow. And I think you got a lot of options actually. And now I wanted to revisit your answer to question 5. Do you remember you were talking about the habits that you have and the feelings that you have towards yourself? I just wanted to unpack that a little more and where your intention is going with that. well, that is us done for today. I've written up some preliminary goals, some preliminary habits, and some affirmations actually that you can say to yourself. Put them up on a mirror every day that you see or something like that. I'll have my receptionist type this up and send it to you shortly. But if you need help unpacking it, it's all pretty self-explanatory, but if you need help unpacking it, feel free to come in and free of charge. You just come in and we can go through it, but I don't want to take up too much more of your time. It sounds like you're going to have a very, very busy year ahead. And I hope I can be with you on part of that journey, alright? Okay, you've left all your contact details right with us, we'll just be able to email it through. Awesome. Well, thank you once again. Get some good rest. You've got a big journey ahead of you, but I have faith in you. Okay.